Hi, welcome to my channel. This is my first video in this series, and I wanted to share with you what I'm doing to walk the talk. What I mean by walk the talk is I really want to learn how to evolve through this pandemic crisis and how to become the better me that I was born to be. How can I become more of the me that I was born to be? Instead of becoming small and afraid, how can I continue to expand and experience the fullness of life? So, what I'm doing to continue to evolve during this time is number one, I am reminding myself that my life is in divine order, regardless of what it looks like right now. Divine order is much bigger than the plan that I can see at any given moment. It's much bigger than anything I can really comprehend. For me, I trust that I was born for a reason, and this pandemic and everything that's happening is all part of the plan so that I can learn what I needed to learn when I came here, so that I can evolve. I think one of the most important things for me to remember to do is to stay awake, to stay conscious. I am no longer able to be distracted by racing off to work, running to get my Starbucks, listening to the news, running home, doing my errands, all the scrambling that I've done. I'm not able to hide out, sort of fall asleep in the busyness of life. Now that life has come to a screeching halt, it gives me the opportunity to take stock of my life, to take stock of my inner life, and use the time to get familiar with my senses again, to listen to like the birds singing, to actually be in my physical body doing nothing, just sitting. What does that feel like? Can I meditate more? Can I contemplate more? Can I do more writing? What are the creative projects that I've been wanting to do that I haven't had a chance to do? Since I'm no longer able to work, what can I do to create something new and different? How can I reinvent what I'm doing? And this channel is part of reinventing that. This channel is part of a way for me to share my common sense and the wisdom that I've been told for many, many years that I possess, and the kind of steady peacefulness that I exude. How can I share that with you? How can my sharing what I'm going through and the way I'm thinking help you to become more of what you are here to be? How can I share the messages I'm getting, the voice of reason I'm hearing in my head? How can I share that with you so that that reason can speak to your higher wisdom and help you through this time? So that's the whole point of this channel. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm trying to stay awake. That means I'm not overeating. That means I'm not binge watching anything. That means if I decide that I want to watch a program or get lost in a book, I decide that. I don't just let it decide for me. I make the choice consciously. I'm going to watch this program. I may choose consciously to binge watch something, but I'm not going to let it sweep over me and fall asleep in it, fall asleep in my consciousness. Like I want to stay awake. How I'm going to evolve is by staying awake through this and seeing what there is for me to do, what there is for me to learn. So it's very easy to be spiritual when everything's going well. It's very easy to have wisdom and be very calm when things are going well. But when fear kind of creeps up and the panic that's surrounding us in these times starts to creep in, how can I hold my peace? How can I stay awake? And how can I walk the talk? So for me, what I'm doing is all the things that I had put on hold during the crazy busy last several months are things that I can now do. They're creative projects I can now do. I can I can do them. I can be creative. That means I can produce something that's of value into the world, even if nobody sees it. I'm producing something creative. So I'm sending out creative, positive energy into the world. I can be a person who's willing to give. I have all this free time now. What can I do to give it away? How can I still be of service? When I'm afraid, for me, I get really small. I get really closed in and protected. And what I want to do, what I feel like it's time for me to do, is to branch out and continue to spread out. And how I do that is by being of service to others, whether it's phoning them to see how they're doing, sending a text to see how they're doing, offering to pick up supplies or do things for people that they can't do for themselves, just to be available for other people. And I could continue to add them into my meditation or my prayers, but what can I actually do for them in the physical world? Maybe there isn't anything to do. One of the things that happens for me when I get scared is I tend to shut down. I think many of us do tend to shut down and become protected. And that's not helping me grow. That's not helping me stay awake. So what I'm doing is I'm looking around, what's the next indicated thing for me to do? I personally believe that the universe is an abundant place and that the universe is actually my employer. It's not my particular job that's sending me my paycheck. It's the divine spirit of the universe that's actually supporting me. So rather than freak out over the fact that I'm not getting a paycheck, I'm asking the universe, what is the next indicated action for me to take? You are guiding me today. What's the next thing you want me to do? Maybe the next indicated action is just to do the dishes. Maybe it's just to sweep the front yard. But when I'm present in the action I'm taking, the fear is able to abate for that short time. And my mantra, my life is in divine order, regardless of how it looks to me right now, is part of the way I affirm the fact that the universe is in charge of this. I also personally believe, and maybe many of you do too, that this life is just a temporal, fleeting moment in all of time, and that who I am is actually more than this physical body in this particular lifetime. And so I don't feel like I have to be afraid for my physical safety because I know that who I am and what I am is bigger than my physical body. And I know that I don't have to be afraid for the end of this lifetime because it's just a blip on the whole timeline of history. And I have the belief that I'm going to be back again and again and again until I don't have to come back anymore. So the thing I'm trying to do is live the best life I can possibly live so I don't have to learn some of these lessons over again. And part of how I do that is I can confront my karmic patterns, one of which is fear of financial insecurity and fear of not having enough. So how I'm confronting that is I'm reminding myself that it's an abundant universe. Everywhere in nature we see abundance all around us. If I can sync my mind in with the universal concept of abundance, I can get on the same page with that and then just go about my business. And if I just concentrate on today, if I just concentrate on this moment today, then all that fear leaves me because I'm not worried about the future. I'm not worried about the what ifs. I'm just focusing on the moment. If I'm just focusing on the moment, I can actually hear the birds singing. There's no traffic. I can hear the birds singing. It's like I'm out in the middle of the country. I can see the sunrise, the sunset, the movement of the clouds. I have the time and space to be able to appreciate those things that are all around me that I often don't have the time or space to appreciate. And I've seen a lot of people walking in my neighborhood with their small children. I've never seen these families walking around before. I didn't even know these children lived in my neighborhood. It's a great opportunity for us to spend time with our families and our loved ones, our children, and be present to them, be present to what they're going through. Anyway, I hope some of this has helped you. If it did, great. If it didn't help you, oh well, you have your own path. I hope to be able to do this again tomorrow. Bye. Stay awake. Stay awake.